So I'll just go over um, some darning with thread here. So which is just thread weaving really, which it's this is just using it as a surface darn in your fabric scrolls if you want to. It can be used as a mending technique as well. So we've just looked at the fabric weaving, but you could also have a go with this thread weaving or darning. So this one here I did with some tapestry wool, which was quite tricky to pull through my calico, but it did manage in the end. And I did that into a circular shape. The ones here that I've got as demonstrations, I just drew out a square to do a little sample with. So we're just going to have a look at this plain weave pattern here. There's your basket weave as well, which is fairly simple. You're just going over and under two to make this heavier look. And then there's also the twill and houndstooth and different patterns as well. But for this course, we were just going to look at the plain weave. So if I draw out a little square to demonstrate for you, I've threaded up and I'm going to come in at the back here of my fabric. With your thread darning here, it's best to use a hoop to keep your tension nice and taut so it doesn't pucker or isn't too saggy on your fabric. I did actually manage, because this was thicker thread and I was really careful to do that without a hoop, I think, that one. But if you've not done it before, I would go for using a hoop. So I'm just going top to bottom, and then I'm coming up on the bottom line again. And what I'll do is about a thread's width gap between my threads going up and down. So it's only a small gap between there. So now I'm going top to bottom, bottom to top. So all you see on the back is a little running stitch. So that's creating what's called our warp threads. So if you were using this to mend, I would say put these warp threads even a little bit closer together, right next to each other. But for surface darning like this, just a thread's width. So doing it with the tapestry wool, as I demonstrated last week, it's a lot quicker to do because you can see that the threads are really quite thick. So it's a lot quicker to do. So nearly at the end there. So I'll finish that off. So you can see on the back, it's just a little running stitch. So it's quite a good thread saver doing the darning. Snip that off. And now we're going to do the weft part. So you warps your fabric or thread running horizontally, and your weft is what runs from left to right. So now I'm going to start at the bottom here. I'm going to come up from the back. I've knotted the end, and what's easier to weave through the threads is if I use the blunt end of my needle so it doesn't catch the other threads. So I'm going over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. All the way to the end there. And then if you use your needle, you can sort of push the thread down. I'm going to come out the other side. You can see there it has lifted up. That doesn't matter at all. I can just encourage it down. But what's going to help that is I'm going to go down in at the edge of the fabric with my thread and come out again a thread's width or just above it, depending how close you want your weave to be. So I am taking out at each side of the edge of this darn the thread in and back up again, so you'll get another running stitch running up and down as well. If I don't, if I carried on weaving, it would just pull in at the side. So this helps sort of keep it straight. So now I'm doing the opposite of what I finished on last time. So I'd finished on an over stitch, so I'm going under, over, under, over, under, over. It doesn't matter at what point you're weaving it. You see here, I've sort of gone a little way up, but when I get to the end, I can just sort of use my needle to push down the last lot of stitches, pull my thread through, encourage it a little bit down. But what's going to help it is, again, like I said, taking the thread in at the side, because that will just push it into line the more your darn gets packed full. So then I'll just come out here and then I'll do the same again. So I'm now on over first, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And I do that all the way to the other side again, push down with my needle, pull through and push down as much as I can. Don't worry too much, like I said, because you're going in either side. And then you carry on until the whole sort of piece is full up to the top there. And if you want to, you can change your colours to make it a bit more varied as well.